Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Get ready, get set for the best movie and pop culture talk in the universe. It's the Good Brothers on Mercado Airwaves with your hosts, Alex Mercado and Mike Mercado.
How's it going, y'all? This is Alex and Mike, the Good Brothers, back for another episode of pop culture fun, some wrestling fun. Well, not wrestling fun today, but we'll get to it. And some movie reviews and a little bit of everything. Basically, whatever we feel like talking about.
Yeah, good brother. How was your
was
week?
I supposed to throw it to you?
Yeah,
I looked at you. That's the throw, Mike.
That's how radio works. No, man. How was your week? There was a lot of stuff that
it was a fun. I like this kind of week right before an Infinity War week, because next week, obviously, all we're going to talk about is every single movie in Marvel. That's next week's episode, people. We're literally going to talk about in order every movie and do maybe a 2-minute I liked it, or this is why I didn't like it, and hey, you're stupid for liking Doctor Strange, Mike. It's very overrated.
I can't believe we're here already. I know we've been talking a lot about it since we started the show, but the fact that we're here, the fact that we're at this moment it's pretty intense. But before that, I actually got a chance to go check out Ready Player One. We got to go check out Rampage.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and you want to just go in and talk? Let's talk about the movie I saw first, and then so we can have a big
conversation. You go into your overrated movie first before I go into my amazing
Ready Player One was a really fun movie. There's a lot of I could see people who could get obnoxious, who would have been obnoxious to see all the nostalgia and Easter eggs. The problem is, that's what the book was, and that's kind of what the whole hype of the movie is. The idea of you're complaining about what the hook of the movie is. The hook of the movie isn't the generic love story that we see, or the generic rise to a hero thing, which is great. I mean, it's performed well, it's executed well, but the hook of the movie is the nostalgia. Here's the problem: is the nostalgia is very marketed to certain people. You send me a text message saying, well, it's a kid's movie. It's a kid's movie if an adventure movie about, pop culture and wars and fantasy is a kid's movie, then sure, then Star Wars, Avengers, King Kong, Godzilla, that's all kids' movies. Because there's a lot of that in this movie. And Steven Spielberg does a really good job of stroking his own ego, but it's not overwhelming. There is Jurassic Park Easter eggs, but there's just as much King Kong Easter eggs. Yeah.
All right. It's very well. So here are my questions, because I haven't seen it, but I've done I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of reviews about is this movie worth seeing? Because I've read most of the book. So I've read I started reading it, but it's a very long book, so I consider most of it done. I get the gist of it. I don't think it's a spoiler movie.
The skeleton of the book.
So here's I got 2 or 3 questions for you, and you kind of lead me in the way of your opinion. So one of the things I heard about the comparison is why the movie's not as good is because a lot of big pieces are missing. A lot of the heart, a lot of the message in the book about the culture kind of misses in the movie, and they sacrifice it for more just movie.
Well, here's the thing. So the idea, the blending comes in where the creator of the Oasis kind of, when he starts these trials, it's supposed to kind of take you. I'm not going to get into any spoilers, but it's supposed to remind you. It's supposed to be a fact check where in this world, the Oasis is everything.
Yeah.
But there's more to the world than the fake world, the reality. And it kind of becomes a through line first of all, Simon Pegg is the best friend of the creator of the Oasis. Phenomenal in this movie.
But that's what it's so lovable. You hear there's a lot of connections to, the Apple creation.
There is a lot.
The phones. Basically in our modern time, it's are we distracted by our phones too much? Did one screw over the other, and was the one that maybe made more money end up being wrong because now you're distracted with this fake world compared to real world? Does the movie get that across?
It does, but in a way, in the very typical Steven Spielberg way, where it's very much a family-friendly, hey, the world is in crisis. The world is basically apocalyptic. But everything is gonna be okay at the end. Everything is
somehow,
and the book does a better job of making it more real. Where
it's gonna take work,
and but the message of the book is still there. Where it's take off the visor.
Yeah.
It's like that's just as important.
Take your heads away from the screens and look what's going on in the real world.
The book, and obviously Spielberg does do a justice. And this is where somebody asked me when I posted on social media about my initial thoughts walking out of the theater. I think the book and this movie are great companion pieces to each other. You can love the book, you can love the movie because they're different enough where to me it's a lot like Game of Thrones. Where it's like there's
more of an adaptation than a straight cover to cover.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the one thing I would suggest. I do think it's a little long. I do think like that could have been tightened up.
You gotta look at this. Like, yes, it was successful. So was Rampage with a lot of movies, but it wasn't as successful as it should have been or could have been. It wasn't crushing. It's not that hit, and it's a tough year. Like to me, okay. Here's my last question: was it not a hit because the movie's just not perfect or not great? Or was it not a hit just because it's a hard time for anything to be a hit right now?
It's in a dead zone. It's in the year where
it was a good spacing. Like it could have done a lot better in the space it was.
I would say this, and you and I know, maybe you and I, or maybe me specifically, I've overrated how important Avengers is. But I think
it is.
Okay, because anything right
now...
It's
going to make like $270 million,
It's
Mike.
that black hole, man, because Star Wars is the same way, but here's the difference. Star Wars is at the end of every year.
And Star Wars is divisive. Marvel's not divisive. Even DC fanboys love Marvel.
Yeah, so I'm at the point right now where I just don't know when a tadpole must-watch Avengers, not just Avengers, but Marvel movie comes out, if anything could survive around there, because I think people are hyping up. And here's another thing, Alex. I don't think we have to take this into consideration. The weather's been really crappy everywhere.
I don't think it's weather. Here's the big reason why Rampage and Ready Player One didn't make as much as they did, but was still successful. Quiet Place. Simple as that. Man, Quiet Place ate up, $40 million for a 35 the next weekend.
Dude.
Almost $80 million in 2 weeks. Imagine putting that to the other two, 40 extra million. Now you're talking about in the 70 million range, 100 million ranges. You're talking, because these movies made their money back. They're successful. They're not successful. They did what they were supposed to do. But A Quiet Place, if A Quiet Place doesn't come out and doesn't get the kind of Get Out hype, like, man, we might get Oscars for screenplay and music. They might get this. It's one of the greatest movies ever. Then these movies do better. So I think that threw off everyone a little bit. But that's a good throw off as movie fans because we're like, oh, that's awesome. Like now there's 3 movies I want to see instead of just 2. So from the studio, you're probably upset like, damn, like we did not see that coming, John Krasinski.
I mean, did anybody think Black Panther would have the run it did?
I did.
I mean, yeah, you kind of did. And I thought
but I overhype everything just so I can be right.
But that idea that like it crushed, like it steamrolled.
In the top 5.
Steamrolled. And then The Rock in himself with enough known IP. Here's the thing about Rampage. You want any last questions about Ready Player One? Well, no, and then I'll give you my last thought of it.
On Black Panther, since we were talking about it, was 6-week run. I heard some people talking about like, well, that's not that much. Like, there's movies that go on 8 and 10. I'm like, you got to realize Black Panther went on a 6 run in February till now with a lot of movies, people.
And money.
A lot of movies. Like it was it was not like it was never a slow week.
So here's for anybody who doesn't know a little inside baseball of the way movie tickets and prices, things like this happen. So let's say you have a huge opening weekend like Black Panther did, like any of the Star Wars, Marvel's movie do, right? What happens is after the first week, there's initially, if it's a good movie, maybe 30 to 50% drop.
Usually 50% is okay.
You're okay. Think about how much money Black Panther didn't lose week to week.
Exactly.
The drop of that's what's
It's not like A Quiet Place where they went from 40 to 35, which is great.
It's great.
But obviously you're at a lower, you don't make, this movie made $35 million?
Yeah.
It dropped to like 170 or something. Yeah. Like it did not make a big drop. So
all in all, I think Ready Player One has legs, obviously, as I've seen it this late into it. I think it's going to have a spot just because it's Spielberg. So it has already the leg up on what would maybe just be a really cool, fun movie to start the blockbuster season. Yeah. It's now going to get that extra love because it's a good movie that has the right guys stamp
it's Spielberg
on it.
And it's like member berries, so you're not going to go wrong with member berries.
But it's not obnoxious either. And they kind of, that's the thing. Like,
maybe the advertisement was.
And
like,
I will say,
a Willy Wonka song.
We'll get into advertisement in a little while into the show, but I will say the previews didn't do justice. It was a little long. I love if you're in that era where the cameos and Easter eggs were for, you're gonna love it. It's definitely a movie that's worth seeing more than once. Maybe not in the theater, but it's worth watching, or maybe seeing those videos that show you every Easter egg that you missed because it's really cool. Yeah. You go really deep into it.
It's a DVD. You got to buy it, rent it maybe for at least one.
But watch it.
Yeah.
I'll
watch it when it comes out on Blu-ray.
It's a good brothers watch.
Yeah,
movie.
I'll watch it on Blu-ray.
So let's get into the other movie that you and I got to see.
Ooh, let me do this one.
Right into it.
All right, Rampage, y'all, perfect freaking movie.
10 out of 10,
10
bro.
out of 10, bro. Easily, probably Oscar nomination. All right. It was good. It was very good. Cool. Every review you've read was completely honest. They're like, listen, if you go into this movie expecting more than a solid, I don't want to call it a B movie, an A- movie with The Rock, who is the only superstar we have nowadays in movies, you're going to love this movie. It's short.
It's a perfect TV movie.
I wouldn't call it a TV movie. You know what? I could have saw this movie, like, if Rock had done this on Netflix, I would have loved it anyway.
Yeah, I get that.
But I think it deserves to be in the movie just because, like, I liked it better than King Kong. I
like Skull Island?
I liked it better than Skull Island. I liked it better than Godzilla.
Ooh,
but here's the thing. It's because The Rock. The Rock is charming, especially if you're an old wrestling fan, which 90% of men are.
I think he was the only charming part of that movie, though.
He's charming.
And the gorilla.
Ape is charming.
Gorilla.
I love the wolf. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, again, maybe because we're such super fans of Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Because Walking Dead and Supernatural for you.
Yeah.
I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It was so acted badly that it was fun. And again, it didn't try to do too much. It didn't try to go 2 hours plus. Everyone was doing so much that you're like, I appreciate you giving me one of these old 90s. Like, this is a 90s movie.
Oh, it totally is. And it's
like,
right
this
up
is old
the
school
Rock's
Arnold and like Sylvester Stallone. Like, this is old school. Just, we're going to destroy downtown. Here's a giant wolf, ape, and lizard that look great.
Yeah, the CGI looked amazing in that movie.
It was fun, and the monkey does inappropriate things, and I loved it. I had so much fun.
Okay, so I would say this. The last 20 minutes of that movie are theater-worthy ticket watch. It's worth it. It's worth the ticket to watch the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But I will say this. It is an movie, but it's one of those movies where you don't mind being in the theater. It's kind of a cool capper. You go out to get food and drinks and hang out with friends. Go watch Rampage. Enjoy the last few minutes.
I feel like for the whole movie, we always compare our mom and dad because our mom and dad are very common moviegoers.
Yeah.
And there's only certain movies that really hit everyone, like Black Panther and Avengers, like that really hit everyone. It doesn't matter what you are. This is one of those movies for, I think, like a very older generation and younger. Like, if you played the game, you'll love it.
And if you have no idea what the game is, you're just like, cool, it's Rock versus monsters.
Exactly. Like, these are the people that watch San Andreas, that watch Central Intelligence, who were like, hey, The Rock's in it, and it looks funny, or,
like
hey, that's a great... Yeah, exactly. And it's a very... Like, I was home, I'm like, man, Dad would love this movie.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because he wanted to see it.
For the women, like, there's so much for everyone in it, and it's so... Like I said, the ape and Rock chemistry is great.
I didn't like what they did to Joel Manganiello. Obviously, this was filmed before he was famous.
Yeah,
this was before he was famous.
But
it was cool.
So I was right again, people, because I seen later, I'm like, Mike, it's gonna be number one. He's like, no, it's not gonna be number one.
I didn't think it was gonna be number one.
Yes, he's like, it's not gonna make its budget back. I'm like, so what's the number we need to hit? He's like, about 150 million worldwide. I'm like, it's 150 million. And The Rock is so. But here's the thing, why? Here's why The Rock seems right. He's taking social media to a whole new level.
I agree with this.
I love the way he posts everything because, like, you know me, I'm the ultimate lawyer politician. Like, I will word things so, like, you're wrong and I'm right. Mm-hmm. And he words it so great, like, biggest opening in China for me.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, like, well, this guy's got the Fast and Furious, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We don't know what those movies made.
No.
But we're not going to look into it because we're
doesn't matter. The Rock is saying it. Yeah.
A- cinema score, which I'm one of you that believes cinema score is very important for movies like this because it's not getting bad reviews, it's getting, hey, we're not going to give it a high score. But it's fun.
It's got a 50 on Rotten Tomatoes for what that's worth.
Pretty good for Rotten Tomatoes for a movie.
For like that movie, yes. Because look at, I always say, look at Transformers, look at Pacific Rim, look at Battleship.
Like those movies don't get good scores
Not
anywhere.
Like that. Not like that. Know? And that's The Rock and good CGI.
The Rock and the CGI, like again, it's monsters.
So what happened with Baywatch?
He just posted so good.
So what happened with Baywatch, though? It's like, I think The Rock cares.
I think it's chauvinistic.
But do you think so? Because I think The Rock takes so much love and pride
in all
his
here's the thing
movies.
I heard today on the new Collider podcast.
Shout out to Collider on...
Just Collider podcast. I have the movie talk.
On Podcast 1, yeah.
Like, they're great, and they were talking about it, and they were saying basically that The Rock does so many movies that, like, he can afford to take a loss. It's like the video, like, he can take the loss because he's working the next time.
It's just the numbers.
Yeah, and remember, like, The Rock gets paid, like, his studio gets paid an extra $1 million, and they will hype up advertisement. So when you get that money, he's going to hype it up. And he might come back later and be like, hey, Dune kind of sucked. That's my bad. Or Baywatch wasn't as good as that.
But then he hits his
I admit it.
With Jumanji.
Exactly.
Central Intelligence.
What did he do after that? He did Jumanji.
Yeah, like
the biggest movie for Sony.
Yeah.
And he does Rampage. Good fine movie. It kind of shows, hey, Rock's a superstar.
Can Rock
So he did what he got over. Now, here's his bigger test, is Skyscraper. Because the Skyscraper doesn't make as much as Rampage. We're kind of like, well, maybe we only want Rock
This
as
is where I made
monsters.
the mistake, Alex. I'm going to go on something a little bit. The Rock is a treasure here on The Good Brothers. He's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Treasure. He's a world treasure. Yep. Here's my thing. I made a mistake on why I thought Rampage was a movie that was going to be targeted towards the international audience, not only because of huge kaiju, but because of it was going to be a worldwide monsters taking over type of thing. And it really was just kind of like the video game. They go from Wyoming to Ohio to Chicago.
Killing military, eating people.
This is Skyscraper, though, is not in the United States.
Yeah.
It's in Japan, China. Singapore. I forgot where. It's in one of those. The base of the movie is the newest.
Dude, I don't know. I don't want to.
But the trailer basically says is that it's a new building. He's a fire marshal. He's there to protect everybody.
We're explaining to people, like, The Rock's big enough. People know this movie's coming out.
Yeah.
Now, will people go watch it? I don't think so.
But this is what I was going at. It's going to make its money worldwide, though. I think this one was the worldwide movie.
Like, The Rock sells worldwide. Like, that's the thing. Like, we're not talking about property anymore. And like they said,
he is the IP.
He's the property.
He is the IP.
He's like the IP. Like, he's not an actor role anymore. You're selling it on him.
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson made both The Rock and Dwayne Johnson IPs bigger than the companies they were from. The Rock is bigger than WWE. Dwayne Johnson is bigger than any movie that he's going to come out with. And I bring you we're going to get into
he destroyed the Fast and Furious franchise.
He could destroy it or save it. He did save it.
No, he saved it, and now he's taking it.
He's taking it. Here's the thing. Is Dwayne The Rock Johnson big enough, charismatic enough to save the DCEU with both Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller and Ray Fisher?
Yeah, I guess. I don't want to talk about it, Mike.
Exactly,
you know that's a sore subject.
I know it is.
Listen, I don't want to talk about it until we get a trailer for Aquaman or Shazam or something.
I'm just kind of stoked for Aquaman because I love Jason Momoa.
I don't want to talk. You know it's a sore subject. I love Justice
really
League,
fast.
and people are ignorant for not liking Justice League.
Really fast. We'll get into it, but that new Netflix series coming out with Emma Stone and Jonah Hill from the guy who had directed season 1 of True Detective. I want to see that, so maybe we'll get into that in the next few episodes.
Ooh, TV talk. My turn.
Yeah. But really fast. Rampage. A movie. Would you recommend go seeing in the movie, Alex?
Of course. I like. There's right now. If you haven't seen Black Panther, that's the movie I'd say go see.
Okay. So that's okay.
Like, so that's out right now. Yes, that's the one.
So we give 2 positive reviews, 2 must-go watches here on The Good Brothers. Go watch Ready Player One and go watch Rampage. Alex, before we got into recording, we were really lucky. Normally we record these episodes a little earlier, but today we got a chance to watch the final Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom trailer. This is a subject that you and I had already been talking about all morning. So really fast, what were your thoughts about the last trailer of this movie?
I love Jurassic World. Like, Jurassic World to me, like, I'm a weird generation kind of kid because there are some things I'm like old school. Some I'm new school. I'm not the biggest Jurassic Park fan. I don't think it ages well. I think the acting's not as fun. Like, it's not my movie. I saw it later in life, I think. Maybe that's the problem. Jurassic World, like, got me. I love Jurassic World. And, like, because it was just enough of, like, the music that I liked from the first one. I liked that the park was actually open. I was like, man, I wish I lived. Like, I always wish I lived in Jurassic World. I don't wish I lived in Jurassic Park.
Sure.
It was boring to me compared to, like, no, there's, like, dinosaurs everywhere for you. Like, we're going to steroid up these dinosaurs. And I just love Jurassic World.
I love, and me personally, Jurassic Park. Whenever you and I ever have these conversations when we're just hanging out, Jurassic Park always finds a way to end up.
You're wearing a Jurassic Park shirt.
Literally right now. Jurassic Park is one of my favorite movies. It's probably my favorite Spielberg movie.
Yeah,
and I absolutely love it.
That's not even fake, y'all. Like, that's actually
kind of real. And like, I
usually
can argue.
Mike puts on for the mic. That's true. Actually, he loves Jurassic. The original Jurassic Park is probably one of his. I'd say it's one of his favorite movies. We had to pick favorite movies for each other.
Probably.
It's probably one of his favorite movies.
Like, I could sit down and watch. I could quote it. It's one of my favorite movies.
Probably top 5.
And while saying that, I love Jurassic World. I think Jurassic World, when I went to that theater, I'm like, I cannot believe they made a Jurassic Park, quote-unquote, sequel that literally is everything I wanted after I watched Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like, it is the perfect, again, companion piece, literal sequel. And on that note, you and I were talking about this. I love The Lost World. I even love Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, you're kind of... I like Jurassic Park 3. Lost World's really stupid.
I like The Lost World. I like The Lost World up until they get to I think it's San Diego, where the dinosaur, the T-Rex comes out and starts havocing the city.
To me, I love Jurassic Park as a franchise in general is like... Lost World. It's like a lesser tone Star Wars where if you really like these movies, you're never going to say them are bad. Like, you're going to enjoy all of them. Like, I'm a Star Wars fanatic, so... I don't think any Star Wars is bad. I love all of them.
That's interesting.
Just because the atmosphere.
Okay.
So I feel like that's Jurassic Park where it's like, I don't care. Like, I don't need much, honestly. Like, you're giving me dinosaurs. You're giving me fun. Like, that's all I want. And that's okay to be a fan like that. That's where you have these fanatics of Walking Dead and, you know, like Breaking Bad's at the time. Well, Breaking Bad was good. But, like, any sort of franchise or series, there's fanboys for a reason because some people just, I want what I want. And guess what? That's all your point of view. Like, it's okay to have that point of view of, no, I like it. Like, I like a Family Guy. Like when Cleveland says, like, I like to laugh. I like to have fun, people. Like, I'm not gonna apologize for it.
And I'm not mad at that either. That's why I know a lot of people were like, well, Jurassic World is just like a steroid version of Jurassic Park. I'm like,
well, yeah, Force Awakens was just New Hope. But guess what? I love both those movies.
And it doesn't mean that they weren't good and that they didn't do good things. So here was the thing about the trailer, though, this new trailer that came out.
It was awesome.
I didn't like it. I think the marketing for this movie has been really bad. I think they don't know what they want this movie to be targeted towards. You and I've been having this theory forever, just like the internet. We all know the end goal has always been for dinosaurs to become weapons. That's the point of the story.
No, new end goal. I think the next one is dinosaurs take over the planet.
Which could be totally a possibility. Maybe they go the way of Planet of the Apes and they try making their own version of Planet of the Apes.
Basically, yeah.
And that's a good call. I mean, I think that's going to be our
stance
on the movies.
This movie got to make some money.
But we're talking about a franchise. And here's the thing. Even though I love Jurassic Park, I love the franchise, this is the same series that at one point thought about making dinosaur-human hybrids. So it's not like they're out of the realm of making stupid decisions.
Yeah.
But on that note, I love Chris Pratt. I love Dallas Howard. Bryce Howard. I think she's...
Show some respect for Solo's daughter.
She's awesome, though. She has a great chemistry with Chris Pratt, unlike...
Well, I mean, that they said that might be a real-life thing. Like, that might have caused the... little Hollywood celeb there. TMZ was... Rumor was that was what kind of did it, was... He was really close to his co-star.
I can see that.
During Jurassic World.
And I like her.
I could see it, like...
But Jennifer Lawrence was once his co-host and, like... Co-star. Yeah, a co-host. Yeah, sorry. Co-star. And then he... I forget the beautiful woman that he was married to in the Parks and Recs when he was fat.
The little cute little weird one.
So, but you know what, though? Here's the thing. Here's the thing people don't realize about working on projects like this. Maybe you do, just because it happens in work, right? Like, when you work enough with somebody... Things like that kind of happen, and like they're both really charming, and you see it on screen, like they're both.
You have Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, oh man, Jeff Goldblum's gonna be awesome in this movie.
Like I love his speech.
I wonder if he's gonna be at the end of that movie. I wonder if that's like an end of the movie or beginning of the movie. Where
that's the beginning. That's the beginning. Like you get or right at 15 minutes. Like I don't care. Like I'm just so excited.
I'm
excited
love dinosaurs. For the movie.
I get where you might not like the trailers because we got an argument. Then he's like, "No, I want to see the movie.
I want to see the movie."
I didn't like the trailer. I'm like, okay, like I really can accept that.
And here's the thing. I think the movie's going to be good.
It's not going to make the money of the last one because that was like, again, you hadn't had Jurassic World in years,
right?
Or Jurassic Park.
Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333.
If you want to know how much of a nerd I am and how much I do love this series, you go on my Instagram and our Facebook page, Mercado Airwaves and Mike Mercado2333. We have the beautiful Field Museum here in Chicago, one of the best museums in the world. They had the traveling Jurassic World exhibit come around, and I got to see it. I got to see the animatronics that they use for the movies. They made live sets to show you how it looks when they were filming it. This world is so awesome. This universe that you could build can be Planet of the Apes-esque.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that with this storyline, it doesn't have to be an Oscar-winning screenwrit. What it needs to be is just a fun, coherent movie that doesn't shit on the IP.
Yeah.
Other than that, make it a fun action
popcorn thriller. Make it a grade higher than Rampage, and we'll be good.
If you can make it better than Rampage, I'm gonna be a happy customer.
Like it can't be right. That's the problem here. Like it can't be Rampage. They're different popcorn movies. Just like Pacific Rim 2. Like why do you forgive this and that? Why is Transformers not okay Rampage? I'm like, because one is an individual thing that is just there for there. It's based off a video game movie, which technically is the most successful video game movie ever now.
It's crazy.
And which I'm okay with that. Yeah. These are properties now. These are things that I'm like, I expect a little bit more. Like I'm not expecting Schindler's List. I'm not expecting E.T. or Jaws. Even the first Jurassic Park for those fanatics out there. Like even if I'm not a biggest fan, I get it.
Yeah.
I do need something a little more from this. Like I can't have popcorn fun. Just give me a little more than popcorn fun and something more, and I'll be good.
It's the burden and the test that movies like Avengers, Black Panther, any Mission Impossibles now, James Bond, like we're talking about big IPs that need to deliver. It's not just okay to be, because it's this character and because he's so beloved, it's going to make money. No, people are showing you with their dollars that they will not go if they don't think it's
There's
good.
too many options. There's too many options.
No, and it's a crazy day that we're living in, and I don't even think it's a streaming thing either.
Like you got Avengers. Solo's gonna make some money. Like
we'll
the trailer's been better.
That's gonna be the test too, man. Like I'm so excited to go watch Avengers. I'm just as excited.
That's
to see
why I like Jurassic World.
Like
you're only a month ahead, and then you got Deadpool. So you got Avengers, Deadpool 2,
Jurassic
and you
World.
got before Jurassic World. I'm trying to think. Oh my god, I just said it. Why am I? Solo. So you got 3 big movies coming out a couple weeks before you come out in June. So you do need a good word of mouth because people will be like, "Well, I'll just go see Deadpool. I didn't see Deadpool yet.
How important is word of mouth?
I didn't see Solo yet. I'm gonna go see Solo."
Yeah, man, word of mouth. And I always thought word of mouth. We grew up in the Ebert and Roper days on WGN. Like we grew up on those things of thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah.
But I never realized how important word of mouth is.
Well, even like something like us, we're a smaller podcast, but like I've been asked like at least several times, like, "Hey, was it good?
Yeah.
Did you like Rampage?" I'm like, "Yes, I would go see it." Like random messages from people I should have years ago being like, "Hey, me and my I got one the other day after the movie, like posted saw Rampage." She's like, "Hey, me and my boyfriend are going out tomorrow. Is that a movie worth seeing?" I'm like, "Yeah, you'd like it. Like if your boyfriend played the game or you played the game, you'll love it." And she's like,
that's
"Okay,
all
cool,
it takes.
loved it."
That's the difference
Like
between
that's simple. Like and then it gets around and gets around. Like that's the beauty and bad thing about social media is it could destroy a movie. It can make a movie. Like Quiet Place doesn't get as much recognition if you have to go look for a review like back in the day of like Sunday morning reviews.
Think about another
Emily Roper or gotta read the paper. Like I used to read the paper in journalism class. Be like, what movies got stars?
Right. And think about poor Emily Blunt, who was in a great movie that just wasn't at that time where that type of word of mouth was huge in Edge of Tomorrow. And now with her in A Quiet Place, all it got was some love. All it needed was a little bit of love.
And
it got pushed over.
It grew.
It went over.
It's a little ripple effect.
So we'll see exactly how that plays out. Did we talk about the Meg trailer last week? I don't remember, but really fast, Megalodon with Jason Statham. One of your homeboys. I love Jason Statham.
That's your
as well.
homeboy.
I love Jason Statham. The reason I brought this up is going back to the Jurassic World.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, but
there's too much coming out. Like, there's no reason for me to watch that movie.
Why release the trailer so early?
Like, unless that movie gets reviews like, nah, y'all, this is like the after Jaws, best shark movie I've ever seen. Then I'm like, damn it, I gotta go watch it. But it's not gonna get those kind of reviews.
I agree.
Like, it's not gonna Quiet Place us where you're like, guys, I'm telling you, like, next to Jaws, this is the movie. It's not going to do that, so I'm not going to watch it.
Especially not in a stack year like that.
We don't get paid like that yet to review movies like that yet.
Any last thoughts about the movies that we saw or any trailer that came out?
Movies. No, I'm pretty okay with it. Getting ready for next week. Like I said, next week's show is just going to be us talking about all the Marvel movies put together.
Right, and that's going to be so much fun. I mean, I can't believe that we're getting to the point where we could talk about that. But on a sadder note, because it is a pop culture show, we did have 2 deaths over this last week. Alex, you want to hit the first one in the professional wrestling world?
Bruno Sammartino. And the thing with Bruno is, like, you can see, like, this is bigger than wrestling. Because Bruno grew up in Italy during the Nazis. He hid from Nazis. He's like, Arnold said it best. He defined the American dream just as much as he did. He came to this country with nothing, and he made himself one of the biggest stars when wrestling was becoming wrestling, when it was a WWF. Like, back when, like, this wasn't what the Attitude Era. This is before. This was, like, without this, this was Iron Man. This was phase 1. Like, he was part of bringing wrestling as pop culture to this country. Like, he was one of the originals. Like, he's basically why there is a world heavyweight champion. Like, he's the guy. Like, he is. Like, if you talk about Babe Ruth of wrestling, he's the Babe Ruth of wrestling. Like, he's the
right there with Andre.
You know, he's the Larry Bird of basketball or the Magic Johnson. Like, they almost created the way we know wrestling now was created by him. Like, we don't have Andre and Hogan without Bruno. Like, Bruno was the originator.
So crazy.
He's the first, and that's what is crazy. Like, one, that he was still alive this late into life, and 2, just how much respect he has across the board. Not in wrestling only, but you're seeing these big celebs coming out saying, like, no, we knew Bruno. He was a great man. And, like, he lived the American dream of coming with nothing and making himself this world big name.
And think about it, too. It was an immigrant champion, like you mentioned, but this is fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers, mothers' favorite wrestler growing up as kids. And that gets passed down.
He was in the papers. He was on TV. He was the first. He
sold out Madison Square Garden
like,
for
come
years.
on. Like, he like, without him, there's no WWE right now.
And it kept getting a little bit sadder earlier on in the week. R. Lee Ermey, also known as Gunny, part of Full Metal Jacket, passed away because of pneumonia. Again, just somebody who...
He created the general character.
Did you hear how he got the role?
No.
So he didn't... I believe... Was it Stanley Kubrick?
Yeah.
They didn't want him to be part of the role. And they kept auditioning drill sergeants. So one day he came into work in full guard because he was training the actors to try to play a drill sergeant. Walked in, did the audition. That moment he finished, they signed him on. History was made. He became an actor.
Again, people might not remember him, but you're gonna remember this has been ripped off so many times. This has been not ripped off, not the right word. This has been honored so many times, joke wise. People do his scenes all the time, and you're not even gonna realize those were his scenes. Again, going back to he created a character that became what we all have in all these movies.
The architect of
in
character.
Forrest Gump, Lieutenant Dang is based off this guy, basically. This crazy drill sergeant who just says nonsense, but sells it so much. Great acting, two great legends you lose there, and pop culture in general, honestly. Those are two big guys you lose. It's almost like a Carrie Fisher. It's not just movies, TV, whatever. It's pop culture.
And it just moves, it gets to, like you said, the lexicon of people, too. So, condolences to the family. Thank you to their legacy. Thank you to all the work they've done for us in pop culture, in their own venues. They will be missed. More importantly, they will be remembered. And that's what the ultimate goal is for these guys. That's what they
now we're going to get a Bruno title or tournament now. So
very, very sad news, but at the same time, lives well lived. Legendary lives well lived. Alex, we move on as best we can to our television news. You and I have differed so hard since the show has started. I
don't think we watch any of the similar shows except for Narcos now.
Yeah, we don't watch the same shows anymore, and I think that shows the power and pull of television. There's so many things.
I'm growing as an intellectual, and Mike is stuck at CW.
Yes.
Mike would not leave the CW.
Nope.
I'm HBO and awesome. AMC, and Mike's like, nah, we're not CW.
Yeah, I like CW. Alex, Walking Dead. I'm going to be honest. I saw what happened.
Nothing happened. Here's the problem, people. And I've told Mike from day one, I'm like, I'll always watch Walking Dead. I'm too far in, and I like the acting. Whatever. I like zombies. Yeah. I'm not going to apologize for what I like. Here's the problem. I've always told Mike, I'm like, you know what, Mike? No matter how bad the show gets, they never do a bad half season or regular season, premiere, season finale. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, it's only an hour? I was like, okay, whatever. And I'm like, okay, they didn't waste any time. And then it ends. He does the throat cutting thing that we knew he was going to do. Sorry, spoilers to people, but it's literally all over right now. You should have known this. No one dies. Nobody dies. Nothing happens. We kind of maybe get a heel turn from Maggie and Daryl, but they're not going to commit to it because they're not going to do the bromance. They're going to, it's just so ridiculous to me.
Why did Carl have to die?
That's what I'm saying is if you were going to do that, do it now.
Yeah.
But even now, I'm there was no point and then honestly, I'm trying to think who would have died in that there was no carnage, there was no shooting, there was no
You want to know how you save this, Alex?
No, they already said they're gonna basically start over on season 9, and they have to.
Yeah.
But I'm just so upset. I'm wow, you couldn't give me an hour and a half and give me a little bit more. It just ended. It felt like it was the worst season finale of all the seasons.
Lowest rated since season 1.
And it's still getting crazy ratings.
Yeah, and I will say this. I think looking back at it now, the biggest mistake, not only was it killing Chandler Riggs, because I think at the end of the day, I just don't think they trusted him as an actor anymore. I think they moved on past what
I think they tried to go for that crazy factor and be hey, you guys don't like him that much? We're going to kill him.
Right.
No, we didn't relax, y'all. We kind of liked him. It's just.
And it needed to mean something.
It didn't mean anything. I get to the story, they get along. I'm but not really.
No.
Had he kills him or not, it doesn't change anything. Unless, again, all this is okay if we go the direction I think we're going to go season 9, and we're not going to talk about whispers or big wars coming out, because we'll get there eventually next year when it's November when it comes out, or October. So if it goes where I think it might go, then I'm going to be okay with it. But man, I feel like we wasted 2 seasons, and I'm this show is really good, 1 through 5, and even 6 is when they first get there. But man, did we waste 2 seasons on a war that meant nothing?
I'm going to tell you, looking back, my biggest problem right now.
And remember, you like Supernatural, so let's take it with a grain of salt.
My biggest problem is, say what you will about Supernatural, at least they pay it off. One of the most beloved characters in the show's history gets brutally beat down, mercilessly died in front of his pregnant wife.
That was cool.
And it means nothing.
Unless they go it means nothing right now. I agree.
Yes.
Unless we get this huge Maggie, that's where the change comes.
And that sucks, dude. Right now, I look back at it
now, so the lady you didn't want to pay, you're gonna make her a bad guy,
right?
Does that mean you're paying? Unless they come out and say no, we're paying her more, and that's why we're making her because now she's gonna be a big part in this. But it also goes back to You could have just done exactly what the comedy was.
Lauren Cohen should have been getting paid a lot to begin with. She's one of the only, not the only, but she was one of the first original legit actors on that show.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that conversation.
I'm talking about but legitness.
Oh, I know, I'm getting there, but
Cohen was awesome.
Like, so does Michelle, so does a lot, like Carol.
And they've earned it. They've earned that.
But like, that's a whole different podcast of why women don't get paid fairly in Hollywood, and they never will. And it's just it's discriminative. It's terrible. Like, again, that's a whole show of why the Hollywood in general is just terrible place.
But then some bullshit like this comes around, and you're gonna be like, not only you're not gonna pay her, but then you're gonna do this to her character, where it's like that character has so much.
And Jesus doesn't show up the whole season, and now he's there at the end. I'm like, wait, Jesus, we have like people loved you because you came out as the first gay character or like the second. Where the hell have you been the last 8 episodes?
I love.
You can tell they filmed this like the way they filmed this. You can totally tell like, hey, we're gonna film this all in one day. This, like, you could see it, and that's so bad for a TV show. Like, I know that's how you're supposed to do it, right? But I could totally tell you're like, okay, Jeffrey D. Morgan, we're only going to film you this day. We're going to do all this. This day, we're going to have you two on set. Jesus, we only have you in 2 episodes, so we're going to keep you the same here. Like, you could tell, like it looks so choppy. I'm like, oh, man, it was such a bad season.
And you know what?
That started off kind of okay when they invaded. I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. Let's go.
I think, you know what the problem is that it's like watching wrestling that just never has a payoff.
But that's the problem. It's because people are still watching. Because, like, again, lowest views ever. Was it 4 million?
Yeah.
Think about this in wrestling terms, since we do wrestling. That was the height, almost, of the wrestling era. So you remember all those crazy crowds of people watching? This is walking at its lowest.
Yeah.
So imagine, like season 1, it was at 14 million.
Can you save it?
But no, because it doesn't need to be saved, because it's still making the money it needs to.
How about this? Creatively, can you bring people back? Can you bring people back?
Yeah. No, like you can, because again, I think that's what they're doing. I think that's why they ended like this, because they're like, listen, we get it. We need a slight reboot this.
What's going to bring me back, Alex?
Good writing. That's it. Like, the acting's good. We love the acting.
I love the acting. Just hell, half of them end up in good blockbuster movies. Yeah.
Just write a little better.
Stop
seeing, like, to me, like, the reason I stopped watching CW is because you were wasting my time with 20-something episodes.
Sure. I've always admitted
I don't want you wasting my time anymore.
Yeah. So it's the Netflix Marvel effect where it's like, I don't need 13 episodes.
Like, the only thing that like I go for is like, oh, zombies. Okay. I can waste my time for zombies. I don't want to do that for anything else.
Was this the worst season?
Yeah. No, yeah, it was the worst season.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's the worst acted season.
No, I think it was the worst season.
I think it's the worst season.
Was a little bit better than this.
I'll jump back in for the next season. I'll jump back in October. I'll give it one more. I'll give it one more look around. Give them that opportunity. Look at anything can happen. We've seen it in so many different shows. Hell, even the best show ever in Game of Thrones has found a way to, when they had their slow periods and the Sisters of Dorne and all that, they found a way to flip it around and, like, you know, get back on track. It's obviously AMC and HBO Productions are two totally different things, but
I got next week. I'll be able to review Westworld's first episode, so that'd be fun.
That will be fun. You should definitely make sure you give. Don't forget that for next week's episode, Westworld season 2.
Yep.
Is everybody coming back? At least without giving spoilers, like the majority of people are coming back?
A lot of new people. It's gonna be fun. It's really a lot of good actors in it. You got Cyclops, you got Tess Thomas.
You know what? Here's the thing. Westworld intrigues me. The problem with Westworld is I think I can't get, and man, this is not its fault. I can't get over. I just need HBO to be finished with Game of Thrones.
No, that's wrong.
I know it is wrong. No, I'm saying it right now. It's wrong. Westworld has nothing to do with that.
Because Game of Thrones, no matter how much you love it, it's gonna take 6 years to make. So it's like a movie almost. Like, don't look at it like a show. Look at it like a movie. Like that's like saying I want Lord of the Rings Part 2 now.
I want to make it to April of next year. Because
we'll talk about this next week with like hype about these kind of shows, because I'm like, they never are gonna live up to hype. The only show that ever really lived up to the hype was like Breaking Bad.
But you know what? I will argue this.
Like Infinity War, I'm like, no matter how much we want to go into it, I think most people are gonna leave being like, man, like I didn't hit where I wanted it to. But that's okay.
I'll be honest with you, and you might be right. You know, it's hard for anything to live up to hype.
Hard.
But I will say this:
like to this level,
the journey is just as fun. Like, I will never.
Not if you don't stick the landing, though.
No, sure, I get it, but that.
That's why I said the journey was great, but I broke my ankle at the end. Like, that hurts.
If you break your ankle, then you look back. The best part was it's the present effect. It's like we've got in the present, we've got in the gift wrap. We've seen what the box looks like. We got a tease of the present, and if it pays off and it's a brand new bike, we're great. If it's a pair of socks at 6, then it's gonna suck.
Because no matter what, like
the journey's like part of it, man.
Because the problem with a show like this, like the reason, like it's no matter how good or bad it's gonna be decisive, because there's three. Yeah. There's like going to be 3 endings you want.
Yes.
And like only one of them can be real or none of them.
Right.
And now you're going to be upset if it's not you. So again, we're getting off subject here.
And but sometimes it does pay. Yeah, we are. But sometimes it pays off. Like everybody wanting to be in Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Good.
They want it. Yeah. So it's like sometimes like in wrestling, the thing that should happen is the best thing.
That's what scares me is that the last season was so fan service. Some parts where I was like, "You get him, Arya." Yeah, Sansa. Whoa, screw you, Littlefinger. Like, but you have to now I'm like, oh, they're gonna kill everyone I love.
I hate that you and I get on this level sometimes because I was thinking about Game of Thrones. I think 2 days ago. While it is true, the good guys may have won more often than not. The point of that was because they've earned it.
Yeah, I get it. I know that's why I'm like, it works.
Yeah, it works.
That's why, like, most of the time, you're like, no, I don't like that 50-50 book. You're like, no, they went through some shit from the end of season 1.
Because there's a meme.
She's earned this.
There's a meme that comes out that shows Jon Snow, and it's in the snow because Chicago's been really cold. But then that meme originates from this show started 7 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And it makes me think, like, every character that's prominent right now.
Great arc.
Dude, their arcs are crazy.
But this is like I said, there's a reason this is the biggest show probably in history.
And then it upsets me about Walking Dead because guess what? Rick earned a lot of stuff.
It could have been the regular version of that, but now it's going to go down more.
But I will be back come October because, you know what? It's earned at least that much more leeway to be like, in a world of Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, Sopranos, it hung in for a while. I'm going to give it another chance. We'll see how it goes. But Alex, at the end of it, this last season of Walking Dead,
terrible. Okay. It was really bad. That's coming from me, y'all.
All right, man. I think that's pretty much.
Nope, I got a new subject for you.
Talk to me.
On the internet recently, TMC put out a little post of, post 4 movies that describe your life. So I want to put Mike on the spot and me on the spot, and we're going to do 3 movies each to describe your life. Now, this could be either a character, an arc. It doesn't have to be the exact movie. Like no one's living.
It's not a favorite movie. It's a movie
that you like a part of that movie. So like you could say, you know what, like I can live like that. I felt like this. I relate to this one aspect. It could be one aspect.
Okay.
Because obviously you're not going to say Jurassic Park.
Right.
But you can be like, hey, my parents have been divorced and I've had to go away. Like
I think that's pretty
you
cool.
can live with it. Like,
I got 2 already.
Okay, I'll do my first one. Yeah. Superbad.
It's a good one.
Because, I remember being in high school and being an idiot. Like, I had to pick one because that's how me and my friends are maybe a little too codependent sometimes.
Right.
But it's fun. It's dumb. Like, they're idiots. Like, they're really... I remember doing all that stupid stuff in high school.
My first one is Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Like, there you go. See, these make sense. Like, give us a little explanation of why that one kind of works.
So, Forgetting Sarah Marshall was Jason Segel, Mila Kunis. I can't believe I'm forgetting... not Elsa. Yeah, Elsa from Frozen.
Yeah.
She's... Sarah, the thing about that movie was you have a guy who just kind of was complacent, was allowing himself to live vicariously, and everything underneath his nose is going haywire. And it takes him getting out of his shell and doing what he loves to eventually find somebody he loves, eventually find something he loves, and he's able to still stay goofy, but still mature in his own way, become his own man. And, there's a lot of love in that movie. There's a lot of passion between the characters. Like you could see there's emotion that goes through. There's
it's kind of real.
It's real. It feels very real.
It's part of the real comedies.
Yeah, and it really hit me in a point where as a young man, I didn't know what type of dude I was going to grow up to be. When that movie hit me, when I saw that movie, I think I was 22, 21.
Yeah.
Maybe even younger. And I didn't know, if I was going to be, some serious office douchebag or some goofy, lazy artist struggling. Like,
you kind of caught the middle.
And I caught the middle of it, and it's funny because that's kind of what happens to him. And long term, I think Mila Kunis. Why the movie is so good? I think Mila Kunis is so charming. I think Jason Segel is so.
He's an everyman.
He's adorable, everyman. But that's my first one. What's number 2 for you? You said Superman? Why would you say kind of just because you guys were crazy?
Just high school. I think that relates to we were stupid in high school and very codependent relationship of Look, I don't want to go away without you. Like, Cisco ended up coming down a year after I did to a different school, and we saw each other more than we should have. Because that's your best friend.
Right.
You grew up together. My second one was Remember the Titans. And
great one.
Now, it's not a racial thing, but kind of where, when I went to school in Texas, it's Texas still.
Sure.
Texas alone is very crazy. So I'm on a team full of, 6 from Cali. These are from New York. We're from the Midwest. These are from Florida. It's a very mixed team because they recruit across the world. We got Australians. We got Canadians. And you really got to kind of coexist. And I love my coach always say, in the kind of the movie, you're not going to love each other. You might not love each other, like each other. You need to respect each other. You need to learn to live. I had roommates with Confederate flags, but they weren't racist. Some people just truly believe that's their history.
Right.
Guns, like, around here, you'd run away from a gun. Down there, guns are everywhere. And just the style, like, of how, and we were a very successful team like them. Like, we weren't underdogs skill-wise, but you do have to learn to kind of get along of, like, I understand how you are, I understand how we are. Like, yeah, you don't know what a Portillo's is. I had no idea what a Whataburger was.
That's so funny.
Like, you like this sweet, you say, like, something on the other, like, you say Coke. No, like, a Coke's a brand. I say soda or pop. And, again, and not as serious more times, but the understanding of, like, you have to learn to respect each other to do what you have a common goal. At least it's one common goal, to be good at this. All you might need, you know what I mean? So that one, it kind of got me, not a racial thing, but a more of, like, you do have to come together, no matter how different you are. If you have one common goal, you can learn to respect and love each other.
And pressure, too, though. But, like, I think you've also, over your life, especially with all the teams that you've had a lot of pressure because you guys have won. And that movie does a great job of showing, like, what happens when a lot of people put a lot of things on you, and you have to be able to overcome that, or you fall flat on your face with that pressure.
Yeah. Number 2 for Mike.
Number 2 for mine, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Boo, you suck.
I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Ferris Bueller's Days Off. I always feel I've been very lucky, Alex. Like, I've been very lucky in my life. Somehow I get lucky breaks. The good things just happen to me, and there's almost a humbleness that Ferris goes through, where even though he knows he gets away with it, like, he knows it can be taken from him at any moment, like, if he's not careful, if he's not one step ahead. And I always felt like, at my best, I'm likable. I always feel like, at my best, if somebody thought I was dying, the school would do that for me. Like, people would be like, did you hear Ferris is dying? And they would go talk to you in the principal's office when Charlie Sheen comes in.
I'm totally Charlie Sheen in that movie.
But yeah, Ferris Bueller's my second. How about you? What's number 3?
We're only going to do 3 instead of 4 because, we don't want to go on forever. This one was tough, but I picked Force Awakens. And I just like the journey of the characters where it's almost like A New Hope. So you can pick both. Where I always felt like growing up, like, we grew up in a very traditional Hispanic family. And I guess you can relate to this too, where it's like, I don't want to be what you are. And like, not like, and sometimes I feel like that's what you want from me, is to be very much like the way the men are in my family, just work, support, and go on with your life. I'm like, I never wanted that. I want to leave. I want to go away for a little bit. I want to live in this world. Like, I don't want to live in this world you made for me. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but I feel like I could do more. Like, I want to be out there. I want to be, known. I want to live an adventure. Like, I don't want to go go to school in Illinois. I want to go to Texas. Like, I don't want to work a normal factory truck job. I want to work in this industry that makes no sense to you and you have no comprehension of it, but like, I'm still, I'm living my life the way I want to. And like, it's a different world than you're used to, but like, there's so many worlds out there. Like, it's okay. So that's why I always kind of related to that one. I guess New Hope, now Force Awakens, where it's like, you don't have to stay where you are. You don't have to be what people tell you to do. If you want to go live this random adventure, like she wants to be a smuggler. Like, yeah, that's not the greatest life, but that's hers. Or he wants to be a rebel. If I want to do this, you know what? That's my choice. You may not like it, but hey, I'm going to live with it. Whether it pays well, doesn't pay well, dangerous, not dangerous, realistic, not realistic. Live your life because that's your dream and hopes.
That's really going.
So what's your last one?
Rocky.
Okay, which one?
Rocky 1.
Okay, you're not stopping the Cold War?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not stopping the Cold War this time, man.
You're not that superhuman at the time?
That one, to me, it's the ultimate. I've always told you this, for as lucky as I am, I've never actually crossed the finish line, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I've never been first place. I've never won the big award. I've never gotten to stand in front of hundreds of people and accept something. I've never been acknowledged for these things. But I've always been in the fight. I'm always in the fight. I'm always going to the last round. And to me, my biggest, I don't know if it's my biggest accomplishment or the one thing that keeps me going is knowing that I got there. That getting there was as big, as important as winning the championship.
So that's why it's important to pick Rocky 1 in this situation. Because he doesn't win, but he does win.
And that's the point. Like, I've never won.
He shouldn't have been there. Like,
one of my happiest childhood moments that doesn't include family was getting second place in baseball.
Oh, we'll tell the baseball story one day.
One day we will tell the baseball story. But this part of the story is we were a bunch of 14-year-olds and we lost to a bunch of 17-year-olds. And we all cried. But at that same time, like, that moment of, I've never, see, this is you and I have had this conversation in private where it's like, you've always had the pressure of having to win. I've always had the pressure, can he finally win?
I also feel like, why am I Apollo in all your stories? Like, I'm the other guy. Like, you're Ferris Bueller, I'm Charlie Sheen. I'm Apollo where, I did get to first. Like, I didn't get a lot of second. Like, I won a lot. Like, he worked hard for it. But it's not the Rocky story where it's like, yeah, you have your own sort of working hard, but you really didn't have to struggle as much.
That's why the dynamic of all our shows are a little bit different, and you can hear why the personalities work because it comes from different angles of how we gone at it. Like, I've come in second a lot. I've seen what happens when you have to go back to the drawing board and see, this is what works as this one.
And we meet in Rocky 3.
Yeah, and then you've won a lot, and then you have to go back and be like, I won this way. Now they know that I have to be better than I was before.
Like I said, Apollo works hard.
Yeah.
He doesn't not work. He doesn't go easy. He just, he had a different path to it. Like Rocky had to struggle. And that's a good one. Rocky one's a good one.
Rocky's a great one. Rocky's universal. So that was a good conversation.
And we'll both pick Hoosiers for the last
Hoosiers is the last one. I thought we were going to go Bill and Ted, but whatever. Porky's.
We'll go Porky's.
Okay, awesome.
Old school.
Guys, we want to know yours, though. Please let us know. Do all four, though. So
yeah, do all four.
Yeah. Alex is at Mercado21. Alex on Twitter. I'm at mmercado2333. And we're on Facebook. Like us at Mercado Airwaves. Let us know what you guys picked as your 4 movies that represent you. Alex, any last things? That was a really fun way to end the show. What else do you have in mind? Anything else?
No, that's about it.
I'm going to put pressure on us. We're going to have a Quiet Place review next week.
All right.
So, guys, thank you so much for joining us on another episode of The Good Brothers. Countdown has begun. It's Avengers Infinity War time. Get hyped, friends. Next week, we go in because Alex, Thanos finally arrives on The Good Brothers. Are you ready?
Mike, I don't think it's going to be as good as we want it to be.
We'll find out. For the good brother himself, Alex Mercado.
Adios.
I'm Mike Mercado. Follow us everywhere in the universe. We're on Twitter, mmercado21alex. I'm at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook, at Mercado Airwaves. We're on SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, Mercado Airwaves. Please do us a huge favor. Like, rate, review, and share us. Every single time you leave a comment, it helps us get out there. It helps people who are just looking around for some fun podcasts. Helps us get to their ears so we have some more friends to talk to throughout the week. And, of course, we're behind the scenes. Follow us on Instagram at MikeMercado2333. Be part of the conversation whenever we upload a video at YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And, of course, the biggest of thank yous to our producers at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you have a brand that you want to bring out to a huge, diverse audience with all our shows, we have a tier just for you. That's patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. For Alex Mercado, I'm Mike Mercado. We will see you on the next episode of The Good Brothers here on Mercado Airwaves.
Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for joining us here on The Good Brothers, here on Mercado Airwaves.